New Jersey, it's your turn. New Jersey, it is your turn. California, I have a separate video from you. Hawaii, you already had your turn. Arizona, you had your turn. Nevada, now it's New Jersey's turn. I've got the list right here for you, New Jersey. The 25 vocabulary words you better know for your test. And I'm making it easy for you because I got the words laid out here. I'm going to read them to you so you don't have to read them. You're going to listen over and over and over, let it sink in. If you're becoming a notary in New Jersey, yes, you have to take a state exam and you have to pass it and you have to know this language. All right. So I'm going to make it easy for you. If you don't understand the words, you're not going to pass the test, and I want you to pass on the first time. All right. Let's dig in. Let's start with the easiest one. Notary public. What is a notary public? I'm going to say it like I did in my other video. I'm going to triple threat you so it really sinks in. Some people love this. Some people hate it. You tell me if you like it. All right, here we go. Notary public, a person appointed by the state to witness signatures and help prevent fraud. Notary public, a person appointed by the state to witness signatures and help prevent fraud. Notary public, a person appointed by the state to witness signatures and help prevent fraud. I say it 3 times so it really sinks in. So all you have to do is sit back and listen. Number 2, commission. Your official permission from the state of New Jersey to act as a notary. In New Jersey, your commission lasts 5 years before you have to renew it. That's very testable. In New Jersey, your commission lasts 5 years before you have to renew it. In New Jersey, your commission lasts how long? 5 years before you have to renew it. I think in California, it's only 4. Every state is different. So know what yours is in New Jersey. Number 3, an oath. An oath. A spoken promise to tell the truth or perform duties honestly. So, example, that literally you're working as a notary and they're taking an oath that they're telling the truth. All right. Oath, a spoken promise to tell the truth or perform duties honestly. A spoken promise to tell the truth or perform duties honestly. Number 4, affirmation. A promise to tell the truth without using religious language. So the oath was a promise to tell the truth. They're taking an oath. They're swearing to it, bottom line. The affirmation, there's no swearing. They're just promising, yes, it's true. Number 5, a bond. All states don't need a bond, but in New Jersey, you do. What you need is called a surety bond. What is it called? Surety bond. What is it called? Surety bond. New Jersey requires a $12,000 surety bond. All states don't have the same answer to that. New Jersey, $12,000. And I want to add this. The bond, who does that protect? It does not protect you, Mr. or Miss Notary. It protects the public. It protects your customer. So the bond protects the customer. Know this for the test. The bond protects the customer. The bond protects the customer. If you make a mistake, if you do something wrong and you become liable, the bond pays who? The customer. It does not pay you. All right. Quick reminder. Repetition is the key. That's why I'm reading it 3 times each. The serious people are going to listen to this all the way through. The flaky ones have already checked out. So if you're serious about making money and passing this test in New Jersey, let this stuff sink in your mind. Play it while you're walking. Play it while you're laying down. Play it over. Play it over. And I know my family's from Jersey, from Newark. So I know y'all serious about your money. Let's go. Number 6, a jurat. A jurat is a notarial act where the signer swears that the document is true and signs it in front of you. A jurat, a notarial act where the signer, your client, swears the document is true and signs it in front of you. Remember, a jurat, they sign it in front of you, right? All right. Acknowledgement. Number 7, a notarial act where the signer confirms they signed the document willingly. So in this situation, an acknowledgement, they might have already signed it. And they're swearing or they're confirming to you that they signed it willingly. There was no coercion. They weren't drunk. Nobody forced them. They're acknowledging that they signed it willingly. Number 8, personal appearance. If it's a personal appearance, the signer must physically appear before you at the time of the notarization. Unless They're doing what's called a remote notarization. All states don't have that. Maybe New Jersey does. I don't really know at this point. But personal appearance, that means they're signing in front of you. Personal appearance, that means they're signing in front of you. Identification. What is identification? When I first made the list, it just meant government issued ID. But I want to dig deeper. I want you to know some examples of the IDs that you can accept. Driver's license, right? Acceptable ID in New Jersey. Non-driver ID means you don't drive because you guys have good transportation, but you have to have ID. A U.S. passport is acceptable. Other government issued IDs, like in the military, was not acceptable as an ID. You better know this. Was not acceptable in New Jersey. So security cards, not acceptable. Birth certificates, not acceptable. Credit card or debit cards, not acceptable. Expired ID, maybe. But if it's outside the limits, not acceptable. School IDs without proper government verification, not acceptable. So, as I said, identification is proof of ID. All right, number 10 this is a big one, credible witness. A credible witness comes into play if the person you're helping doesn't have an ID. So in New Jersey, they allow you to have a credible witness to swear to the identity of the signer. A credible witness is a trusted person who swears to the identity of the signer. A credible witness is a trusted person who swears to the identity of the signer because they didn't have ID. Conflict of interest, you better know this. When a person could personally benefit from the document you're notarizing. Conflict of interest is when you benefit from the document you're notarizing. Conflict of interest is when you, the notary, benefits from the document you're notarizing. For example, you say, Mr. Rogers, you're notarizing a will, and in that will, you benefit, or you're the beneficiary, or some of that money or assets are going to you. You can't notarize that. That's a conflict of interest. Okay. The notary must stay neutral, right? Number 12, almost halfway through, penalties. Penalties for breaking notary law. What are some of the penalties in New Jersey? They can include fines. That's probably going to be on the test. It can include a suspension. It can include losing your commission. So penalties can include what? Fines, suspension, losing your commission. Penalties can include fines, suspension, losing your commission. I'm going to say it one more time. Penalties can include fines, suspension, or losing your commission. How about fees? You better know your fees in New Jersey. Know your fees in New Jersey. The fees are the maximum amount you are legally allowed to charge a notarial act. See, one of the key things about this is you got to learn this stuff. But at the same time, I'm telling you the things that most likely will be touched upon on the test. So there's a thing called the Notary Handbook. You might want to get that. I think I'll supply the link. Read through that. Listen to this. This is what's going to get you through the test on the first try. Number 14. All right, we're past halfway done. Who's here with me at 14? If you're still here at 14, type in serious so I know who's serious, all right? Type in serious. If nobody types in serious, I know everybody watching just flaked off and they're not serious about passing the test. It's okay. I'm here for you anyway. Even if it's one person, I'm here for you, all right? Number 14, a journal. In California, you're required to have a journal. My understanding in New Jersey, you're required to have a journal. And that's a record book where you document your notarizations. Whether you're required or not, it's highly advised because that covers you, that you could document in there, and it serves as protection for you, okay? Signature, that's self-explanatory. A signature is the mark to sign the document. I only say that once. Electronic notarization. Some states allow you to do notarizations electronically. Notarizing documents digitally using approved technology. Can't get that word right. Notarizing documents digitally using approved technology. If you heard me say this tongue twister, you can go ahead and laugh at me and say tongue twister. I don't mind. RON, that word will come up. RON, R-O-N. That means a remote online notarization. That's all that is. But you got to use like they say, the right technology. that's approved for your state to do a RON. Otherwise, the person needs to be there with you in person. All right. A seal or stamp. Out here, we got to have a stamp, and we got to have that journal I talked about earlier. A seal or stamp. Your official notary stamp required to make the notarization valid. Seal or stamp. The official notary stamp required to make the notarization valid. Required to make the notarization valid. You better remember that part. Expiration date. That's the date that your commission ends. Remember, in Jersey, it's how many years? 5 years. That's easy money on the test for you because we've talked about it a couple of times. Number 20, almost done. Woo, revocation. Revocation is when you mess up and they cancel your commission. Revocation is when you mess up and they cancel your commission. Revocation is when you mess up and they cancel your commission before it expires. If you're here by number 20, put in 20 because I know you mean business. Number 21, impartial. That means you must stay neutral at all times. Impartial, stay neutral at all times. Impartial, stay neutral at all times. 22, principal. The person whose signature is being notarized. Your client. The person whose signature is being notarized is the principal. Principal, the person whose signature is being notarized. Venue, the location that you can, where the notarization takes place. So if you're notarizing in New Jersey, that's the venue. Venue is where it takes place. Venue is where it takes place. Venue is where the notarization takes place. Record keeping, accurate documentation of your notarial acts. And number 25, and I'm going to jump back to that journal too and tell you a big tip for the test. 25 is fraud. Intentional deception. That's big. Are they trying to fraud you to take somebody's real estate? Are they doing fraud with signatures? Or is the notary doing some type of fraud? This is very serious. One of your first things, one of your biggest jobs is to try to make sure there's no fraud going on. Okay. Now, bonus, going back to the journal, make sure you know how the journal has to be kept, who's responsible for the journal, what happens if you lose the journal. Make sure you know all that stuff for the test. Okay. So hopefully I do it. In the description, I put the links to the notary handbook. I'll probably put a link to some training to get you to being a 6-figure notary. And just know, if you made it this far, I trust you and I'm rooting for you. And I know you'll pass this test on the first try. Oh, be on the lookout for my crash exam for New Jersey. It's coming up next. Crash exam for New Jersey. This is Mr. Rogers. See you next time.